Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for joining me today for another episode of Breaking Bitcoin Market Update. Got the headphones on today because we are experimenting with some music. If you guys don't like it, well, make sure to let me know in the chat. I can't make everybody happy, but helps me concentrate. All right, if you guys don't like the music, make sure to let Scott know, but we're going to try to continually improve it. Got some good tunes on here, man. But, of course, today is a glorious day, guys. You know why it's a glorious day? Because it is Friday, March the 22nd, 2019, man. Foul year of our Lord. Having some interesting volatility through the midnight hours, and we're going to get into that. A very pretty clear movement that we've been talking about for a while, and some interesting tools that you can utilize to capture it. Stuff that we were talking about in the members lounge this morning. Stop it, man. Want to give a big shout out to everybody joining us in the chat, man. I see John, I see Jasper, I see Mark Cameron, I see Real Stogger Roach. Hope you're not late for school, man. Good to see you this morning. This afternoon, Crew CIT says, Bitcoin going to test 3,500 again. I opened a short position. Smart man. Let's see. What? No, bling, 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 blong. Yes, taking a break from the bling, 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 blong. All right. God does really exist. Good to see you, Dr. Faz, Andres Dihan. If I missed anybody, guys, make sure to yell at me. Anyways, let's see here. Tony Ways is oh, you guys are doing the song. Interesting note about Tone Ways. Dude was very bullish, attempting to buy every dip on the way down. As far as I can recall, you know, I watched like 10 of his videos for a while, and then I realized that this guy doesn't really know more about TD sequential. But anyways, interesting character. Be happy to talk to him or have him on the show. All right, let's see here. Thanks so much for the subscription, man. YouTube. I missed who you were, but I will be able to see here in just... Oh, no, it was a follow on Twitch. Namusha69, thank you so much. All right, guys, let's get into it. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. Let's hop over here to news and stats, go through the opening stuff. As we always do, guys, we have broken the 1,000 resistance, guys. 1,245 entrants on the free MMO giveaway, guys. Of course, we are giving away 25,000 MMO coin. Make sure you guys go check out mmopro.org to check out their gaming community, and mmocoin.pro if you guys would like some information on their coin. I also talked about the MMO marketplace, mmocoin.shop. If you guys would like to purchase products and services with MMO coin, if you guys would like to sell your own products and services, you can, of course, click on the Become a MMO Marketplace merchant, guys. So, let's get in here. We talked yesterday. I got a lot. Thank you, by the way. I got a lot of positive feedback on my market updates and insights from, I posted this on March 20th, the Binance Launchpad sentiment. This is just a general expose on trader psychology centered around the idea of the Binance Launchpad. Not the longest article that I've ever written, but again, got a lot of positive feedback on that. So thank you guys very much. Again, one of the reasons, one of the topics that we focus on so critically in this, as a trader, somebody who's been doing this for a long time, is of course money management. It is the most important skill when it comes to trading. Everything that you're going to hear out there, as far as I'm aware, everything that I've seen is just absolute obsession with entry and exit signals. And that's not to say that entry and exit is not important. In fact, it's the third most important thing when it comes to trading. Because of course, you obviously want a good entry. You also want to know a good opportunity to sell so you can ideally maximize your ROI. However, the most important thing, if you do want to be a profitable trader, is money management. Without money management, it doesn't matter how good your entries and exits are. I will make a bet to anybody who would like to bet against me. I've made this bet before. I will flip a coin to go long or short with a good money management strategy. You can have a terrible money management strategy and have the best indicator strategy in the world, the best price action strategy in the world. I will mop the floor with you every time at the end of the year. Our equity curves will be absolutely divergent. Mine will go up and yours will most likely go down. Because it only takes 3 bad trades to blow out your account. Doesn't matter how skilled you are. If you're not able to manage your money, you're not going to be able to play the long game. If you can't play the long game, you're going to be back on the assembly line. All right, remember the show is to get people out of the 99% because that's what most traders are in. They can't get out of it. The reason why is because they learned the wrong things. So we're here to teach the right things. Secondary importance is, of course, trader psychology, and that's what this is about. Without the right psychology, without the right mastery of your emotions, you know, I saw an interesting twat. I don't know what you guys call them, but I saw an interesting tweet this morning. Just going through my Twitter feed, And this guy, I don't know who the heck he is, but he said the tweet, I could pull it up and I'm not going to, but the tweet said, all these people telling you that you need to master your emotions and approach trading appropriately and avoid the drama. He's like, man, I'm way better than all these guys and I'm here for the drama. Well, here's the thing, man. We'll see if you're still here in 2 years, because likely the people that you're hearing that information from are traders that have been around for several years and have learned that, yeah, man, it's really exciting to get those awesome trades. And that's what we do shoot for. And of course, trades that we do accomplish. Again, you guys can check out the trading results of the premium trading group. But the reality of the situation is, if you want to be around in 2 years and continue to talk about the awesome trades that you've made, you've got to focus on your money management and your emotional discipline. And it's not just helpful for trading; it's helpful for general life skills. Because how can you be successful at anything if you can't master your own emotions? Let's see. Hugh Mad asks, please do OMG BTC bra. All right. Well, we'll see if we can get some time to look at some OMISA Go. There's some interesting fundamentals for OMG, to be honest with you. They're launching their own exchange, to the best of my understanding. So today, we're going to do Bitcoin technical analysis and Ethereum technical analysis. We're going to review the time transformation and the Wada-Atar indicators, as well as what Ichimoku is telling us. We're going to look at GBTC because I'd like to comment on what one of our members in the Discord community was talking about. We're going to talk about random crap that you're going to hear from people on crypto Twitter and how you can look for certain key phrases to know that somebody has no idea what they're talking about when it comes to trading. We're going to go over Red Beer's fractal chart because I would like to. And we're also going to talk about Binance trying to incentivize BNB holders today and only today on Breaking Bitcoin, guys. And if we get some time, we're going to look at OMG. Let's see here. Bob Miner, good to see you. K7 Jixer 1000, what's going on, my good friend? I see your comment here. Generally, you ask questions, but I think they're generally more statements. He says, when looking at the total crypto market cap chart on the weekly time frame, do I see similarity in the market structure from February 2019 to present compared to late March 2017? I'm going to assume that you're going to be talking about the same thing that somebody pointed out with some indicators talking about how. So somebody pointed out in the Discord community about how the stochastic on the weekly was turning down, and that's exactly what happened prior to the beginning of the significant bull run. So we'll take a look at that if we get a chance. Again, one of the things that I did talk about was often on the weekly time frame, and we talked about this when I made my post on golden death crosses. Often when you get a golden cross, taking that trade to the long side is the wrong trade if you're getting that cross on a higher time frame, because often you're going to get an immediate short-term and mid-term counter reaction, because those are all lagging indicators on the higher time frames that you go to, because crypto does move generally so quickly. Now, it can be a good setup, but it blows your risk management out of the water if you are taking raw golden and death crosses. I mean, I charted out multiple times where pretty much any time following that on the weekly or daily time frame would have gotten you absolutely wrecked. Really, the daily time frame. Golden and death crosses on daily time frames tend to get you absolutely slaughtered. Now, what I do like to do when it comes to golden or death cross strategy is if you get a golden cross, for example, and then price pulls back and touches the 50 exponential moving average or simple moving average, depending on whatever you're using. I like EMAs. I find they're more accurate, and then finds support and then starts pushing up bullishly. Well, that's an SR flip, and that's a trade that I do like to take. But just blindly buying when price is high and breaking above the 50 EMA, for example, or when the 50 EMA crosses the 200, which is your traditional golden cross, that's if you buy then, the market's already made its move, because those EMAs on the daily are just now catching up to what's been going on in the market and are basically telling you, hey, price is up. Well, we already knew price is up because we're monitoring the candlesticks. So anyways, I'll stop clicking the pen because I know that drives people absolutely insane. Okay, so let's get to it, guys. We're going to head on over here to the charts and start off the day with our Bitcoin technical analysis. So hopefully I'm trying something out new that makes it a little easier for me to see the screen. If it's difficult for you guys, let me know. And with that said, I got to slip the headphones back on, and we're going to play around with this music, guys. Let me know if it's too loud, if I got to turn it down. I don't really like this song. All right, so you guys just let me know if it's too terrible, too distracting, too loud, too soft, too warm, too cold, too hot. Who knows? All right, so we're going to go over here and start with Bitcoin, of course. So pretty interesting 8-hour candle close, coming up with some pretty high volatility. And this is the chart that I had posted last night, looking at the 3 levels that I think are important. We have our range high, the 50% area of our range, and the low. So 39.50, 39.49 would be the area if you are looking to add to your short or wait for confirmation of a breakdown of this current consolidation structure. You are waiting for an 8-hour candle close back in that range. The reason why is because, as we talked about yesterday, we've grabbed liquidity to the upside and we've grabbed liquidity to the downside. And again, as I talked about yesterday, there's a 70% chance that this has continuation to the downside, which I think we're about to see, and 30% chance that we just continue in consolidation. Now, as I said, depending on what the altcoins do, if we do enter into a more pronounced or longer period of consolidation, is going to be really the leading indicator for me as to whether or not price is going to continue moving bullishly, which I think is very unlikely, or continue moving bearishly. If price consolidates and we see individuals taking profit on altcoins, and in general, if we see altcoins slump, pretty much over the weekend and coming into Monday, if we start to see significant profit taking on altcoins, then that is a sign that individuals are using this opportunity to have the propped up price of Bitcoin be utilized to take significant profits on, excuse me, I lost my train of thought. People are using the propped up price of Bitcoin to be able to take significant or good profits on their alt BTC positions, which would be indicative of the market moving down and overall confidence in the bullish market moving to the downside. Now, still in a short position from 40.15. I will wait to add to that position again once we confirm and move back down to this level of 39.50. The reason why is because if price is truly bullish, there's no reason to revisit this level. Because after a liquidity sweep like this, where we grab liquidity between all these equal lows of the range, there's no reason for price to return to this area unless it is in fact truly bearish, given this indication of the rate of the previous high that we had over here, our previous 8-hour high. So overall, price looks fairly bullish, coming up to test previous resistance as well, the previous area of that little baby breakout that we had, and overall the a high volume node of the volume profile, the equilibrium of the range, the 50% line, and I would be looking for rejection from this area. Thanks, Stency. I appreciate it, man. You know, the thing about the blue background is that it actually is white and black, or, you know, just white actually, on a blue background is the best or easiest to see for those who are visually impaired or have difficulty seeing. So that's the reason that I use it. It's also, this is actually my setup too, because it's calming. It helps, white and black help remove emotional impulses for me to try and buy and sell. When you see a big, when you see a large red candle or a large green candle, typically it can be a very emotional impulse to make a purchase. So I like white and black. It's very calming. That whole Buddha child mind state lets me know that I know less than I think. All right, let's see here. Let's go to my show notes and stuff that I want to talk about. I want to get into tensor charts here, but we'll just go over this actually. Actually, hold on. So I had reformatted this. Okay, cool. So I can do it with one click. We'll save this as this indicator, or excuse me, indicator template. There you go. Now you guys should be able to see time transformation fairly clearly down there at the bottom. We'll also take the schedule. Let's just move this baby, move that baby over there. Okay, you think I can increase the volume music a little bit? Pump it up a little bit here. Let me know if that's better. Microphone humming is fixed too. Awesome, good, good, good. Hey, you're welcome, Cryptos. Thank you so much for your support, man. Math Tutor says, yo, have you had the tax advice stream already? So here's the thing. We had an individual who is actually a close friend of our company that was supposed to come on and do the stream. We haven't had any follow through on that, to be quite honest, but we are reaching back out to him again, because the last that we talked about, he was totally down to come on the stream and talk about crypto taxes and its or the new taxation. Basically, just give his advice as an accountant. on crypto taxes. So we haven't done the show yet, and hopefully that's something that we are going to do. In fact, we just reached back out to him, so I should have an answer on that beginning of the week. All right, looking at what time transformation is doing, close the 8-hour candle here at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, my time. The reason that I do like using the 8-hour candles is because it makes things very simple for me. Unless I get an alert on a lower time frame for like a liquidity grab that I'm looking for or a volatile movement that I'm looking for, then it's just very easy for me to look at the chart 3 times a day. That's 11, 7, and 3, my time. And what I like to do is I like to look at, again, I'm usually up very early and looking at the, just giving an overall glance at the market, but right before 11 o'clock, right before about 20 to 30 minutes before the 8-hour candle closes when I like to look at it, because at that point in time, there's enough data in the candle for me to take my analysis. And there's often, and what I've noticed is that there's enhanced volatility right after the close of the 8-hour candle or leading up to the close of the 8-hour candle. So I'm able to take all that data and make a well-informed decision, in my humble opinion. So anyways, looking at time transformation, we actually do see the continued confirmation of the downside. We have the 8-hour time transformation crossing below the 0 line and actually crossing below into a more significant low than it did previously. So this is still the 0 line. We're not anywhere near overbought territory, and we don't have any confirmation of a bottoming above 0, which would be a bullish continuation trade. The lines are tightening up right here, but I actually don't give this a lot of credence in the short term. What I'm more interested in is this actual close below the 0 line. Now, the last time that we did cross below the 0 line, we did get faked out. That would have been right here. And it is areas like this where your risk management needs to be really good because when you have coiling on time transformation, and you're attempting to use the cross above or below 0 as a trending indication, then that's where you're going to run into trouble. That's why I do prefer that's why I typically am a reversal trader when it comes to cryptocurrency as opposed to a Forex trading strategy, which is all trend trading. Robert, that's absolutely right. It allows me to take advantage of funding too and make my decision prior to funding, either entering into a position or exiting a position. What's going on? The Black Hammer. Good to see you, man. All right. Looking at Wadatar is still confirming a move into the downside right here. We're still trading with bearish volume above the explosion level, so that is just giving us multiple levels of trending indications to be looking for a short position. Again, the time transformation crossing below the 0 line, as well as Wadatar trading above the explosion level on bearish volume. So if you are looking for trending indications, those are your indications to go. Taking a look at Ichimoku. Here's what we have. We do have price coming down and closing below the Tenkan-san and then finding current support on the Tenkan-san. We don't have a lot of resistance overhead as far as the Ichimoku cloud is concerned. So on a cursory glance, not even a cursory glance, but just an analysis of using the Ichimoku for support and resistance and overall market direction, we are still bullish. So we have to look for other things to confirm a bearish bias, which I still do have. And that would be price action. That would be a liquidity grab of the previous high right here. That would be current, what I'm seeing as current rejection from the 50% line, the equilibrium level right here, as well as the rate of the previous low. So if you guys are not in a short position yet, the areas to be looking for proper short entry would be a retest of this EQ line, in my opinion, assuming price does not close above it. That's going to be anywhere between 4,000 and 4,010, or a confirmed, and in my opinion, safer position is going to be that confirmed 8-hour close below 39.50. That would be a confirmation of a breakdown of this local range, and there's really nothing below us, man. Price is just kind of floating in the air, honestly, right now. So there's not a whole lot to hold up price until 36.52 and the lower, actually, looking at the Tether price. So that's Tether. Again, we're gonna have to extrapolate this over to BitMEX. Let's go over to BitMEX. More lines on the chart on BitMEX because it's more actively traded. Same thing that we see over here. Again, more significant raid of the lows, a little bit more support on the BitMEX price. So we can see a little bit of a differentiation in market making activity between the two platforms. But the price movement is exactly the same. We have a range high, we have a raid of the range high, grabbing liquidity, punishing the shorts. Then we have a very steep movement down, punishing the longs and clearing out liquidity to the downside. We have a very slow, lazy drift to the upside, retesting retesting about the range equilibrium. Now, one thing that I just want to point out, and this is just general price action analysis, look at the strength, look at the momentum of this bearish candle, and look at the weakness of the bull so far. I know a lot of people are excited, and they're looking at this as, you know, like positive continuation. But if we go over to tensor charts, we can really see a pretty definitive movement in my point of view. Let's just scroll back in time a little bit. And here it is right here. So let's look at, actually, no, hold on. Let me make sure I find the right price movement. Yeah, here it is right here. So here, what's really interesting to me is if we look at, so this is, let's go over here to XBT and let's go down and look at the 15-minute chart. Okay, so here is this right here, all right? On the 15-minute chart, we see this very high volume inverted hammer candle, or evening star candle, excuse me. Not an inverted candle, but an evening star doji. And then we see that significant drop down. So when we're looking at the hourly chart, for example, we can see that sell off after the movement up. And when we go look at tensor charts, we can actually see a lot of things that would have given you indications to sell this. Hopefully you guys can see that okay. Hopefully you guys aren't struggling with it too much. The reason why is because, so we see this nice run up. We see volume starting to build up right here. But look what's happening to open interest as we get near the top. As we get near the top, you start to see open interest drop off pretty dramatically, actually. Drop off pretty dramatically. And then with this candle, we liquidate a ton of shorts. We liquidate the shorts, 342.3 thousand liquidated shorts. So not a drastic amount, not like 18 million or anything like that. But the fall of open interest directly before us reaching that top, as price is moving up on high momentum, lets you know that longs are taking profit and shorts are closing out positions in fear because price is getting close to their liquidation levels. And then the shorts that did not close out their positions are getting stopped out right here. You're having aggressive longs get trapped here at the top as they are filling short sell orders, and price begins moving down. So that is one of those. So open interest is one of those things that I know people are really excited about it because it is a powerful tool, but it can be subjective sometimes. But when you see it work well, or when you know what to look for, in my humble opinion, and again, open interest is still something as far as tensor charts that I'm looking to incorporate into the analysis, because this is still fairly new technology. This is still a fairly interesting way of looking at the market. But what's interesting about this is that as you see price moving up and seeing this drop of open interest, and then you hit the liquidations, you see a more significant drop off. I mean, all this is telling you is that everything that we can see or have a fundamental analysis on, not fundamental, but basic understanding of what's going on with price action right here. We have consolidation near resistance, okay? Bitcoin is very near resistance. Social media sentiment to the upside is very high. People are very convinced that Bitcoin is going to make a breakout this time. And listen, it could absolutely happen. I would love to be bullish. I would love to think that we're going to 4,500. Nothing would please me more than for Bitcoin to put in some nice price appreciation here. But as a trader, I have to say, guys, I don't long resistance. I don't care what it is. Similarly to the irrational exuberance that we had over here. So is this the time that Bitcoin breaks out? Sure, could absolutely be. But 9 out of 10 times when I short resistance and long support, I'm going to be right. So, and risk management allows me to minimize my loss that 1 out of 10 times that I'm wrong. So, it's not a lot more complicated than that, guys. Short resistance, long support. It's really not a whole lot more complicated than that. Everything else that I'm working into this price action analysis, everything else that I'm working into this analysis of Bitcoin's price action is just looking for more confirmation to be in the position that I'm already in. But again, short from 40.15, I took the momentum short, already taken 50% of profit. Stop loss is now at break even. Should price hit that level, then I'll reevaluate. There's about 70% chance that we have continuation following the weekend, 30% chance that we do end up moving up here to hit the stop and move further into consolidation. And again, as I said, I'll be looking at what the altcoins are doing to get a strong deterministic factor of where price is going to move from there. So going down to the Going down to the 3-hour chart, we don't see a whole lot that's deterministic. Fairly low volume on this movement back up. Guadalajara might be about to flip, but overall we just see that fall off in volume and momentum as price is moving up, not indicating a lot of strength from the bulls. Again, that's one basic element of price action analysis, for example. When you see, you want to see which side, the bulls or the bears, the selling or the buying, supply or demand, which has more momentum, which has more volatility. Look how easily price is able to move price to the downside, and look how much price has to struggle to move back to the upside. I mean, it's taken 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 bullish candles to not even have a 50% retracement, or roughly a 50% retracement of one bearish selling candle. So we can see the difference here in the selling pressure, and this is why price was able to move up. But again, very weak, very weak. And I feel the same thing about this price right here. Now, we did just have a pretty interesting long position filled. What was it, man? Let me go to... Yeah, it was about a $5 million long filled at 39.80. So pretty, you can catch that if you're looking at the significant trades ticker or aggregated trade, for example. So I'm interested to see how that will play out. But overall, it doesn't really factor. One individual buying or selling pressure doesn't really factor or change my opinion on my overall bearish bias. Hey, what's going on, Dr. Faz? The market makers watch your show. It's possible, man. Let's get to the chat here real quick, and then we'll get into Ethereum, guys. Tom Choi asks, what do I think of this ADA breakout? You know, I'll be honest with you. I'm not a timid trader, but I'm a cautious trader. When I take, here's the thing, when I take risk, every trade you enter into is taking risk. So when I enter into a trade, I take the appropriate amount of risk. I don't like to long things near resistance. Now, let's talk about, ADA is actually interesting. So I was talking with one of our analysts last night, Alex, and he was trying to convince me to go long on Cardano. I wasn't convinced because I don't like the idea of longing it near support. And I'm gonna hear nothing but I told you so's from him. So shout out to Alex. Good analysis on Cardano. I do have that nice 24-hour breakout above resistance level right here. Honestly, I have to wait and see what happens over the weekend. Or really, I have to wait at the very least for about 5 hours to see what the daily candle will close. Again, there's two scenarios right here. Continuation of the bullish uptrend, which is nice. Again, Cardano's been on a nice tear. But again, I don't like when we were talking. This was my thoughts on Cardano. If Cardano is going to make a significant movement up here to 2,000 sats to 1660 or higher, because again, we have, if we look at Cardano in a very drawn out period, we do basically see a consolidation period right here. And kind of what I've heard is, you know, the selling climax, the automatic retest, spring, last point of supply. I would like to see, and basically this being jump the creek. But what I'd like to see is I'd like to see a more significant pullback to retest liquidity. So this area still concerns me, still worries me on Cardano because, again, it's that exact same thing, breaking above the range high, which kind of sets you up perfectly for a liquidity grab. Currently getting sold to on the 24-hour chart, but a lot of excitement about Cardano. So you cannot rule out the irrational, you cannot rule out the exuberance of the bulls. I'm not convinced that this is going to continue onto the upside directly. I would be more inclined to think this gets sold into and pulls back and retests my support levels here. So the areas that I would be interested in being a buyer on Cardano, should we reject from this resistance level, would be these zones of liquidity right here. However, I wouldn't want to catch falling knives because a violent rejection like that from a breakout often can have significant repercussions. So it's possible that we pull back to retest liquidity down here around 1,050 sats. But if the daily does close above and pulls back and reclaims this resistance level at 1359, 1400, then there's nothing that you can say but to be an interested buyer, because we have upside targets of 1666 and 2000 sats, 2074 sats, to be quite honest with you, man. There's really nothing on the volume profile, for example, there's really nothing here in between. There's really not a whole lot in between. You have some sticky areas around like 1800, 1700 sats, but then you don't really have anything until about 2074 sats. So I'd like to take profit in this nice low volume node around 1666. That's where I take 50% of profits, move that stop loss to break even. So definitely not anything that I want to buy into. That's just my strategy. I don't buy into anything when I've missed the train. But yeah, we'll see how the daily closes and if we can pull back and hold this support. I'd be very tentative about buying into this right now. That's just me. I very, very, very much dislike buying breakouts in cryptocurrency because 9 out of 10 times they don't work. Again, true breakouts only happen once. So we'll wait and see. It's good volume. It's good volume. But high volume going above previous highs at the top of an uptrend is generally a sign of late stage buying. So really the question that you're asking, the question that we're asking ourselves is, if this is going to continue, is Cardano moving out of the bear market and moving into the genuine uptrend, which is in cryptocurrency, which is a market cycle where all dips are to be bought and all rallies are, you take profit on all rallies and you buy all dips, just like it was back in 2017. So we'll see. That is a pretty bold statement, and not, again, you never want to be the guy that calls the bottom in a bear market or the top in a bull market. So, getting back over to the chat. Tic Tac Crypto says, so many waiting for a retest of the bottom or a new low, but the feeling of the spring is in the air. The feeling of spring is in the air, man. I'm not gonna lie. It's been a long 2018, and it was a long 2018. I mean, it's just rough. For those of you who are still here, who were here from 2017, shout out to you guys, because you guys have lived through a full-fledged bear market. Now, I'm not saying the bear market's over. We don't know yet, but we can say that the last 3 months have been very exciting in this space, and it's very, very positive that we've been able to hang around. Theory says, and when I say up in price, I mean 5K and possibly higher, but I also take into account the support narrative action. I must have missed your earlier comment. Because the experts on YouTube are mostly bearish, I think Bitcoin is so going up in price. I can only speak for myself, mate. But from what I hear from other people, I think most people are really bullish. How would I trade the Bitfinex chart as it has a $100 premium? I would trade it on its own, man. Adam Collector Records says, thank you for drumming that into our heads. As I practice with small amounts, I see how true that is, and I'm learning. Good to hear you, man. Theory asks, the market makers watch your show? I hope so. Tic Tac says, Justin, would you consider one day doing a short tutorial on trading on BitMEX? For newbies, that platform is intimidating as hell. Yeah, I actually have multiple videos on utilizing the BitMEX webinar, or utilizing the BitMEX platform as premium webinars for subscribers to the premium trading group. So I fully walk through everything on BitMEX. I have 2 videos actually. So one is your general introduction. Hey, this is BitMEX. This is how you set orders. Here's a scalping strategy, et cetera, et cetera. And then I have about an hour and a half, almost 2 hour long video where I break down everything. Every single market, the up-down contracts and why you shouldn't trade the up-down contracts, funding, leverage, margin, every feature, every tool, every order every order type that you can do, hedging strategies, everything that how to properly. In fact, in that video, I also talk about scaling into a position and scaling out of a position. I also talk about, a couple months since I shot that video, so yeah, I cover everything. It's comprehensive. It's comprehensive. Dr. Fast says, very, very nice analysis, convincing bearish case. Could you, if you have the time and the possibility now, make the bullish case for us? It's a pleasure to watch. It's a pleasure to have you here, man. Yeah, the bullish case is pretty simple, man. When's going to be my time, Lord? When's going to be my time? We've been in this. I want to do the Samuel L. Jackson, but I got to think of how not to cuss. We've been in this mother flipping bear market for this mother flipping crypto winter, and I'm tired. And it's time to go to the moon. That's pretty much the bullish case. There's a lot of bullish things, man. We can look at the BTC USD longs to shorts ratios. We do see that overall Finex longs are increasing in confidence and strength. The total crypto market cap seems to actually, let's go look at that total. If we look at the total crypto market cap, and again, same with BTC, we do seem, and this is another pattern that I've talked about before. When you're making a series of higher lows, and then you test resistance, and you pull back and form a higher low still, and you consolidate directly underneath resistance, that is generally a sign of an oncoming breakout. I'm not going to lie, it generally is a sign of an oncoming breakout. But again, that doesn't mean that I'm going to switch my strategy around and long resistance. It's just something to be aware of and be on the watch for. Looking at the BLX index. Yes, I know. Looking at the BLX index, we'll see how this shakes out over the next, I'd say, week. But again, if we consolidate directly underneath resistance, that could be a potentially positive bullish sign. So as a trader, I'm completely willing to reevaluate my position, but feel pretty confident in my short right now. Excuse me. Looking at the CME futures, I don't really see anything extremely bullish from the CME futures right now, to be honest with you. GBTC is an interesting chart. GBTC is an interesting chart, depending on how the daily closes. Because again, this is kind of signifying that we might potentially be forming a higher low yet. So again, everything kind of needs a little bit of time to wash out and shake out because we don't have any confirmation of a higher low. I think that, again, there's a 70% chance that this does have continued follow to the downside. Robert, thanks so much for the $5 super chat, man. He asks, if you have time, can you please take a look at IOTA? Yes, I can look at IOTA, man. Would love to, man. So yeah, I mean, you could make a very convincing bullish case that you could look at all this and say, look, man, the longs are increasing in confidence near resistance. We're forming a higher low, which isn't confirmed yet. Futures don't look terrible. I mean, you could make the golden cross argument. You could throw any indicator on there that's going to be bullish. But again, indicators are going to conflict. And that's why I think utilizing indicators are a great way to trade if you have the right ones, because there's thousands and thousands of amazing indicators out there that are not going to be your RSI and stochastic. But I'm going to have to stick with the ones that work for me and the ones that I've used and tested and back tested and forward tested for years, and that I know on average, combined with my analysis of price action, give me good entries and exits or give me a good trade strategy. So. When to sell Cardano, when your strategy tells you that you are having a trend reversal. So definitely an opportunity to, again, you need to take profits on big green candles, man. You need to take profits on big green candles. You do not, this is not a game of greed. Cardano is up an amazing percentile, pushing above resistance. Bad place to enter, good place to take profits. Now, that doesn't mean you get out of a trade completely because you don't know how far Cardano is going to run. You never know how far anything is going to run. But you take some of your profit off the table and you move your stop loss to break even so that you don't have a losing trade. Don't be that guy who holds onto a trade and then ends up turning a fantastic winner into a loser. And this is, I mean, this was the problem with the Bitcoin bull run in the beginning. And I've said that so many times. I mean, when Bitcoin went from $700 to 18,000, how did so many people lose money? How did the majority of retail traders lose money? Because they refused to take profit off the table. They refused to take profit off the table. When Bitcoin hit 10,000, we took some profit on the initial run up. I mean, it's you can't be greedy. You know, I mean, it's good to want more. It's good to be patient. It's good to let the market breathe and evolve. It's good to not jump in and jump out too quick. But just take, at some point in time, always have a level on the chart where if price goes this far, and for me, that's the 1x8 daily ATR, the 1x 8-hour ATR. When price hits this level, I'm taking profit off the table. I'm adjusting my stop loss to break even. And then the rest of my position, I'm going to let it run. Or alternatively, have higher profit targets that you're going to scale out of, and then leave a little bit to run. You know, like say take 50% at take profit 1, then take another 10% at 2, take another 15% at 3, and then let the rest run. Again, that's something, all you have to do is just backtest this stuff. Just look back in time and see that based on your entry and exit system, how would you have incurred the most profit? But I guarantee you, if you just incorporate that one element into your trading strategy, where at one point on the chart, doesn't have to be like 1%. It can be a reasonable level, but just a reasonable level that price is likely to hit. And I recommend using some kind of indicator. I recommend you use ATR to tell you what the average volatility of the market is right now, and base your profit targets off of actual data metrics that are congruent with what price is actually doing, and not some arbitrary support and resistance level or Fibonacci line or pivot point. None of that. That stuff is not. That stuff is not congruent to what the market is doing right now. Volatility is gonna tell you what that's doing. So for me, that's ATR. Take profit at some point on the chart, take half your profits off the table, and move your stop loss to break even. And if you do that, you are going to start cutting losers out of your trading log. And that's as important as adding a winner. What about Bitcoin volume being manipulated? Massively. Jürgen Ernst, very good point. He says bullish and bearish sentiment among experts greatly depends on timeframes. No. I got you, bro. Thank you, Kolya. Kolya, I apologize, man. And the Oscar goes to. Okay, let's take a look at that IOTA man, and then we'll hit BTC up. So let's adjust the schedule. We've got about 12 minutes before we got to take the break, so we might get into Ethereum after the break, because we also have to look at the S&P. We will start also. So a lot of requests to look at Forex and do Forex. So as you can see, we've got a Wanda down. Oh, you guys probably can't see that, but we've got a Wanda down here. I actually was, maybe it's on this one. Okay, so I guess I'm actually not logged into the Wanda account right now. We're playing around with it, all right? So as we talked about, actually, I just do want to mention that the last trade, I talked about the paper trading, the demo account. First Forex trade for me since 2016, 108 pips. All right, so not bad. I still got it. But whether or not we make that a serious part of our trading group, or whether we make that a serious part of our market analysis on the show, it's going to take a lot of consideration and thoughts. All right, let's go to IOTA. And Iowa, that's my bias right there. 75% vals, 100% awesome. Also, guys, when you we got a really busy chart here, a lot of lines. I guess I haven't looked at this one in a while. So let's just take all those wild lines off. I need to update my chart, and let's just look at what IOTA is doing. Let's look at the volume signature. Okay, you know, again, a little bit different. This one actually doesn't look too horrible, okay? Because again, so you have the significant bottom. Again, you could make these Y-call arguments all day and all night, guys. Selling climax, automatic retest, spring. But then you don't really see I mean, this, you would expect to see a higher valuation after that. This just seems like overbought. And again, time transformation giving you a buy signal here. It would have put you in for a decent one if you didn't get wicked out there. But you could have taken advantage of all this. This was pretty yummy for an IOTA trade. You would have had about 7% profit. Could have had about 50% on that time transformation signal. Let's see. This probably would have been a loss. Yeah, that probably would have been a loss. All right, so my thoughts would be this is a pretty important time for now. Okay, now let's be very clear. I have an overall bearish bias on altcoins right now because I think that BTC and Ethereum are on their way down, and I think that profits are going to be taken from altcoins right now. I think they're going to be pushed back into Tether. I think they're going to be pushed back into Bitcoin and Ethereum, and then we're going to see which way the market moves. So just understand that I'm coming from a fundamentally bearish perspective when we're going to be talking about our alties right now. Okay. And we can just see that we see a very nice movement of high volume, and generally I like to see that. Again, you're forming time transformation, gives you a buy signal right here. You touch resistance, you pull back, you form a higher low, and then you have an extremely impressive high volume movement on a convincing candle body close above resistance. You come back up to your swing high right here, your local high, your range high. But you're immediately selling off into it. So I would say, broadly speaking, if I just take this chart by itself and I don't look at what's going on with Bitcoin and Ethereum, which is totally fine to do, but I would say the first thing that we need to establish here is, since we have a range, one thing that we can do. Yeah, we're gonna have to get rid of all that old stuff. I apologize. So one thing that we can do here is we can establish that's a stop loss, and I want to use the range low. Okay. All right, so we can establish our range high, low, and equilibrium. This is old Forex stuff, by the way, for you guys. So this is an interesting way of looking at the market. It's an interesting way of looking at consolidation periods. So we have equilibrium when price, and this would be similar to VWAP. This would be similar to any equilibrium tool that you're going to be using. This is one of the few, in my opinion, valid uses of Fibonacci. But anyways, moving on. I think if price can hold above EQ, then that would confirm this bullish movement. The sell-off is not as violent as the movement up. So we just need to see if the buyers are going to come back in here. We're going to have to go down to the 8-hour chart to actually do some good analysis. Now, going to the 8-hour chart, we actually do see the selling volume die off a little bit and a lot of wicks to the downside. So a lot of interested buyers, a lot of sell orders getting filled at previous resistance. So that makes sense. If I were to be aggressive, yeah, had I been aggressive, yeah, this would be the area. This is the zone where I would have been an interested buyer. That's very aggressive, but logical as well. I mean, you're just targeting your previous resistance, so you're looking for a confirmed SR flip. So your entry box here would be somewhere between, let's say, 76.50 and 77.50. And where would our stop loss be? 74.26. It's pretty good. It's below this last SR flip. So that's aggressive. That's very aggressive. Let's see if we have any confluence with that level. We have confluence with our current level with the Tenkan-san of the Ishimoku. We had that nice bullish TK cross back here. Let's look at the Chiku spawn. Yep, we can just see the Chiku spawn is confirming that support resistance flip right there. Right where price is at right here. So the way that I would play this is, again, often when I set a stop loss, the nice thing about, and my stop losses, depending on the trade on altcoins, generally decently wide. I mean, most people want to set tight stops on altcoins, and most people want to set tight stops on altcoins and use heavy positions. That's okay, but they tend to get wrecked pretty fast. Most people want to set wide stop losses on altcoins and have heavy position sizes and tend to get wrecked really fast because that's terrible money management skill. What I prefer to do is I prefer to have a kind of a modicum, a medium level of a stop loss, a reasonable stop loss, one based on actual volatility, and a regular position size, a moderate position size based on my account. Because again, this is about the long game. This is about trading for the long term. This is about growing a skill that you're going to be able to take with you into the future. If you can become a profitable trader and you don't have a lot of money, that's fine. You're not trying to trade to turn your money into billions. That's what investing in an early venture, you should be looking at this different. What I'm trying to say is, in the cryptocurrency markets, a good trader can actually put in a very impressive ROI, ROE. You can make more than your average 20 to 30% in this market, that's expert level trading, and equity is in Forex. All right, yearly returns, 20 to 30% ROI. I mean, Warren Buffett makes 20% a year, and that man is on God status. Okay, but again, the reason that he is one of the wealthiest people in the world is because he plays the long game. The reason that 99% of traders get wrecked is because they play the short game. This is, and I saw this. This is just one of those things you hear, man. Every trader, every new trader that I talk to says they want to learn to trade for the rest of their lives. I ask them, hey, are you ready to learn a skill that's gonna transform your life? And they say yes. And I'm like, all right, cool. So we're gonna trade. I'm gonna teach you how to trade like you're trading for the rest of your life, right? And then they turn around and they trade like they're gonna retire next week. It makes no sense, man. But anyways, broadly speaking, let's move forward with IOTA here. So yeah, this would be an aggressive entry play. So where would be my first level of profit taking on an entry right here? 8,002. If you wanted to be a little bit more aggressive, we could go to the daily time frame. The daily time frame would tell us 8,100. So you have a profit-taking zone there between 8,001 and 8,100, which is just a retest of the previous range high, and a stop loss down here. So that's just where you take 50% of your profits off the table, and you adjust your stop to break even. Congratulations, you've had a profitable trade. Looking at our 8-hour Quadriga average true range, it's also telling us to keep our eye on areas like 8230 and 8460. I would front run that probably just a little bit, but. The alternative is also the breakout trade, of course, confirmed breakout trade. That would be price getting back above the range high, a pullback for a confirmation of an SR flip, and then I would have my eyes on those targets of 80. I'd probably actually bump those up to like 8,300, 8,400. Is this a trade that I'm going to take? Most likely not, to be honest with you. I'm a little speculative of altcoins at this point in time, and I've never liked catching falling knives as well. I always like to see a little bit of bullish confirmation, and I don't have time transformation telling me anything. We are crossing above the 0 line, which might be potentially a little bullish, and we actually did have regular bullish divergence on this candle right here. So that would have been the last significant signal that I got right here. Wada Atar is telling you that you could go ahead and take the long. Yeah, we've got falling bullish volume, falling bullish momentum, but we are still above the explosion level. So as I said, a risky trade, but that's your personal preference, man. Personally, should the 8-hour close below the Tinkinson here? Also, the smooth Chico span right there. So we're talking about, let's say 7,600 to be aggressive, 7,610 to be conservative, 7,600 to 7,615. I would manually close the trade because I would feel that that would be an invalidation of that level. So. I will not forget OMG, my good man. In fact, I'm putting it right there. Kevin Stewart says, Kenny Rogers saying you got to know when to hold them, know when to walk away, know when to run. Together to the bottom, man. Hey, Crypto King, I'm sorry to hear that, man. About Quadriga. Austin Kelly is asking for Tezos. If we get a chance, I think we probably will not with everything else that we still have to go over. What's up, Xanthimus? Good to see you, man. Jay Constant, good to see you, bro. All right, guys. Is there an inverse head and shoulders on IOTA? Well, if this must be your first time here to Cracking Crypto, here's how inverse head and shoulders typically play out. In my experience, I will bet against a chart pattern literally every time, man. They don't work. There's no statistical reliability to using chart patterns. So being as that is the case, I just can't use it as part of my analysis, man. And I would highly recommend that you stop looking at chart patterns as well, because they don't statistically play out. They don't give you any edge in the market. The RSI gives you more of an edge than using chart patterns, man. And that's not to be aggressive, but just to let you know, man. I've been doing this for a long time. Ron Legato, man, thank you so much for the $10 donation, man. Thank you so much for the support. You are one of the good ones, man. Much love, brother. All right, guys, it is 1:04 actually, so we're about 4 minutes past the break. So we're going to take a quick break. I'm going to go grab some water, and when we return, we are going to go over Ethereum and the S&P 500. We're going to talk about warning signs that you can see on Twitter, Discord, Telegram, to let you know that people have no idea what they're talking about when it comes to trading or market analysis. We're going to look at Redbeard's fractal chart. We're going to talk about Binance incentivizing BNB hodlers, and we're going to look at OMG. And if I get time, K7, man, I'm sorry, man. I don't mean to kick you to the back of the bus like this. I just had all this other stuff planned out. And then I get in here and it's all like, people and stuff and things. We will try to look at that correlation on the total market cap. We'll try to smash that all into an hour, guys. So don't go anywhere. While you're waiting, guys, head on over to freemmo.crackingcryptocurrency.com. Enter in for your opportunity to win 5,000 MMO. That's the wrong, there's the right promo right there. We broke that 1,000 enter barrier. Let's try to break that 2,000 enter barrier, guys. Otherwise, you can also go check out crackingcryptocurrency.com/blog to check out our latest posts. All right, guys, I will be right back. What's going on, guys? We're back. I decided to go with a cup of coffee, not the aforementioned water. Got to keep caffeinated, man. All right, guys. Moving right along. Jasper, thanks. I'm glad you like the music, man. Scott handpicked all of these out. There's some really good tracks in here, man. All right, if you guys are just tuning in, here's what we've gone over so far. We have done the technical analysis of Bitcoin. We've looked briefly at the total market cap. We've done some IOTA technical analysis as well. We've got further requests for Oh My's Go, Tezos. We want to look at some correlation on the total crypto market cap. Obviously, if you guys are daily viewers of the show, I always try to throw in some pro tips and nuggets for you guys, mainly focused on risk management, money management, and proper trader psychology and emotional mystery. So moving forward, we're going to check out Ethereum now. We're going to look at the S&P 500. We're going to talk about we're going to look at Redbeard's fractal chart and Binance trying to incentivize BNB hodlers. So let's get right into it, guys. Let's go ahead and pull open the chart I have here. Let's go into Ethereum. Let's analyze Tether. Okay. Now, when I look at Ethereum as opposed to Bitcoin, I can make a more convincing bullish case based off of price action. The reason why I say that is pretty simple. When you look at, and we talked about the divergence in price between Bitcoin. So if we look at them side by side, for example, hopefully this is easy for you to see. So let's click here and let's take the drawings off because that might make it a little different. We can actually see, yeah, hopefully that makes it easier to see. Let's make sure we're on the same time frames. Yeah, so as we saw this very nice rate of the highs here on Bitcoin's price, we didn't really see that same thing from Ethereum, which would in general lead me to be slightly more bullish on Ethereum in the short term. Midterm, I'm still fairly confident in my price target down here of 115, 118. No, want the link on. We want the thingers on. So don't mind that. That was not Elliott wave analysis. That was just something for the members. We haven't gotten a strong signal on the 8-hour chart since back here over on the 4th of March with this candle close at 7 o'clock. Back around 127 was the strong indication to go long. Now we did clear up the charts. I did pull off some of the liquidity boxes because we did tap liquidity right here. So it could be broadly said. You can make an argument either way. You can say that obviously we have a range. So let's throw open the range here. Let's find our range high and range low. That's going to be broadly. Obviously, it's going to be these areas right here. Let's throw on old magnet mode. All right, good. I feel comfortable with that. Okay, now this is where we get into, again, this is where Fibonacci becomes extremely subjective, even for somebody like myself. Because do you consider this the range high or do you consider this the stop loss hunt? So now after looking at this a little bit further, I would actually consider this a stop loss hunt and not the actual range high. I would consider this the range high. 140.14, and I would consider this. I would consider this the range low, giving us a tighter range. So now we can see how we have hunts below that range and hunts above that range. So a tight range, about a $10 range between 130.170 and 140.14. Keep in mind, this is not in general how I do base my trades off of. This is just helpful for the purposes of figuring out should I buy or sell above or below this price. In general, with this method of analysis, if price is above equilibrium, you are looking for opportunities to go short, especially so if price goes above the range high. Because again, we always fade breakouts, we always long breakdowns. In general, not always, but we're looking for 9 out of 10 times you're going to be profitable in that counter trade trading strategy, that counter reversal strategy. And thank you so much for the subscription on YouTube, Russell. Highly appreciate it. And you're only going to be wrong that one time, and with proper money management, it's not going to significantly affect our account balance to the negative when we look to take reversal trades in that fashion. Where's your HODL cup, bro? Sell it. Yeah, it's right here, man. If you guys would like to sip your morning coffee out of the Kraken Cryptocurrency coffee mug, the HODL mug right here, which I am told by scientists will increase your trading efficacy by about 85% and your personal attractiveness, as you can see, by 95%. You guys can go check out the merch store at krakencryptocurrency.com/merch. Ishbin Batman says, why is this stream med named BTC Capitulation confirmed? Because again, all these signs that I can see are that we are going to be moving to the downside. So I'm working on building the case for that out. And if you guys, hopefully you guys can find that the case is convincing. So anyways, as we can see from this example, price did come back down and touch the range low. Now, if you use this particular, so I've seen different versions of this. So this would give us an indication that price needs to revisit the range high before entering into a short position. So hopefully that's understandable. And the reason, again, the main thing that makes me a little bit more bullish on Ethereum than Bitcoin is not only the divergence of their price action over the last week, but also the fact that whereas Bitcoin had a clear raid of the range highs, so tapping liquidity and punishing the shorts before a swift move downwards, Ethereum didn't really do that. Ethereum just dumped down. So we can just see that Ethereum just followed Bitcoin down into the morgue here. So I would, there's a lot, as I said yesterday, there was a large there was a portion of me, the irrational, erratic portion of me that wanted to aggressively short Ethereum at 134. I'm glad that I didn't. Obviously, we can see that in hindsight, that would have been the worst mistake that we can make. We see that same spike for liquidity right here. And the initial rejection, the current 8-hour candle having a little bit of floating up. So very weak movement from the bulls. This is not convincing of continued upside for me. However, I would be cautious. So I'm interested in seeing a raid of this price target around 140. I'm interested in seeing a raid of this price level before we see swift movement down. But again, the argument can be made that we already had that with this movement right here. Okay, we already had that with this movement right here. And failing that, obviously the next area to retest would be 146 to 148, where we have a lot of aggressive initiation and trapped buyers. Let's go and see what time transformation is telling us to do. Time transformation coiling around the zero line right here, just showing us that kind of ranging consolidation, as we can see. So just price traveling from the range high to the range low, and just kind of wibble wobbling around in this area. So no fundamentally strong deterministic movements from price action or from our oscillators. So just our general bearish bias to the downside, that this does have continuation. So kind of the similar thing here, I think that if you were looking for a short on Ethereum, you would have your confirmation. If price should revisit these lows. So closing below this liquidity grab right here, you could aggressively enter on a close below 134, 135. But the safer bet would be to enter on the confirmed close below 130 on the 8-hour chart. Because again, if price is bullish, then there's no reason for it to revisit these lows, this area of liquidity that's already swept. It's already swept this. So if we look at our recent range, this last weekly range, we've swept these lows. We haven't yet swept the highs. You can make the argument that if we look at the range going back toward the end of February, that we've swept these highs as well. But in general, not a whole lot of deterministic price action here. So I will be waiting for a retest of this range to have a short open, to have a short position opened up, waiting for a raid of these highs and waiting for confirmation that price is having a bearish reaction from that. Or alternatively, I'll wait for a breakdown of this current range to happen. So a confirmed close below 131. Other than that, I sit comfortably with Bitcoin because the price action and the indications are a little bit clearer to see. So 8-hour did give us the cross. We're waiting for that to confirm now. On this 8-hour candle, so we won't know until the daily candle close that this closes up here, but still below the zero line, so not strongly deterministic. I don't take reversal trades in this fashion. So if we do look at time transformation, though, again, I will make the bullish case, or I will point out the bullish scenarios. We don't do any cherry picking here at Kraken Cryptocurrency. We do have a low here as you can see, where we actually did get a little bit of hidden bullish divergence, which did lead to, from the close of the candle that we got it on, which would have been this candle right here on time transformation, we would have had maybe a 1% scalp. Would not have been the best trade. That would have gotten us probably hurt, to be quite honest with you. But depending on how you were locking in profits. Let's see, what would have been our profit target right there on this candle? 141. Yeah, we would have been that would have been a loss. So if we do have this confirmed cross up to the upside, then that will be a sorry, a little distracted there. What is my words per minute typing speed? I don't know, a lot. Kiki Coolin, can we look at the MDR for BTC? Yeah. Sorry, getting back to price. So that would be, if we form a higher low here, or a lower low but a higher low on the oscillator, that would be, in general, that would be bullish, that would be regular bullish divergence, all right? If we form a higher low on the oscillator but a lower low in price action, it would be regular bullish divergence. So I would look for that to play out and carry us potentially up here to raid these highs above 140. That's where that's where I would like to be entering into a short position on the retest. But again, we're coming into that sticky area, guys, where we're having about a 50% weak, sluggish retrace of that extremely of that high momentum candle. So the aggressive movement would be to retest the first, would be to short the retest of the first area of current resistance, which would be the level of support, crash through. We expect that level to turn into supply. We expect that area to turn into resistance. So that would be this zone right here. And we can see aggressive shorters doing that currently. And going over to the BitMEX chart similarly as well, we do have that rough level of support. We had that range high at 137.55 that after it was broken above led to a little bit of higher consolidation. Price just coiled around that price level for a while before rejecting very strongly. We would look at that level to again act as resistance, which would be previous resistance turn support. So looking for that SR flip 137.55. So you have the aggressive entry in this zone right here, and you have the more conservative counter reversal entry in this zone right here. All right, going over to the MDR. Let's look at the MDR. Overall, currently, the order book is bullish, slightly bullish. But again, look at this. If we look at the MDR right here, we can actually see that the bids are falling off, and we do see a rise in asks, a pretty steep rise in the asks as well. So taking advantage of that current opportunity. Looking at the nearest 5% of price, we see that it's absolutely the same. We do see that currently there is equilibrium between the bids and the asks, but if we look at which side is making the more momentous moves, we do see the bids dropping off pretty steeply right here, and asks making their way up. Congruing that with volume as well, we just see a big drop off in volume as well from March 21st to March 22nd. So falling volume as the bulls are pushing price up, very weak sluggish push from the bulls back up to about that equilibrium of the range on Bitcoin. Again, all this is confirming weakness of the bulls and the strength of the underlying strength of the bears for me. Looking at Ethereum. Ethereum, the bears are quite strong overall in the entire order book. When we look at volume, we see that exact same. So here's March 21st. We have a spike in volume. That's that significant bearish candle downwards. We see bids rise up to try to buy the dip. And they're getting punished for that right now. Well, they're being slightly rewarded, but we just saw significant profit taking, guys. And now price is, again, just as Bitcoin, kind of stuck in that sluggish 50% equilibrium area. Previous resistance, previous support, that SR flip, looking to test that area. It's an area to aggressively short, or you could look to conservatively short the previous rate of the highs, or the rate of the previous highs, which hasn't really happened yet. Nearest 5% of price. Yeah, strength of the bears, man. Strength of the bears. Bids falling off the map. Bids are asks rising. We had a spike in asks here. They fell off a little bit as a lot of orders got filled, and now we see them rising up again. %, as well. So for anybody trying to buy the dip 10% below price, it's still bearish. Let's go with the bid-ask sum on BitMEX for Bitcoin. The bid-ask sum is bullish, all right? So we've been seeing this for a while. We've been seeing the divergence, and this is natural because you're having future sentiment against actual MDR sentiment, which is actual buying and selling on the spot exchanges. Typically, I will always go with the MDR sentiment over the BitMEX sentiment because you have a lot of irrational traders on BitMEX that are able to overly leverage and skew the books. I think that's one of the reasons that VC took BitMEX off, because they didn't like it. If they could just take OakX off, then I think we'd be much better. But yeah, within 5% of price, we do have bullish sentiment on BitMEX. I think overall, they're probably most likely going to be punished, man. I need left and right hand of the HODL mugs. Just coffee, just coffee, just double fist in the coffee, man. I looked at Cardano, John Check. Once the video's done, Jasper should have that in the timestamps. Just need to double fit. Adam Collector Record says, against the euro, nearly all the red candle has retraced. Do you play it differently if so? No. But we will look at that for the interest of interesting stuff. On Finex, for example. Finex is in general more bullish than the other exchanges. Not only do they have a premium on price, thank you Tether, but there's also less liquidity in their books as opposed to things like BitMEX. So looking here, they had a pretty strong buying candle right here as opposed to the others that did not end as bullish. Or that, excuse me, that did not end as bearish. We see the momentum dropping off here. Yeah, the only comments that I could have for this is that, let's see, how much... So only 30 Bitcoins traded on this 8-hour candle. 648 Bitcoins traded on this candle. If we go look at... Yeah, if we go look at this, here's 2.2 thousand Bitcoins traded on this candle. And here's 526 Bitcoins traded on this candle. The less liquid your market, the less liquid, the more volatile it's going to be. So it doesn't surprise me that the bullishness of this actually weak move, if we look at it measured against the dollar, is stronger on a lower liquid market, on the euro market. It also implies that that our English friends across the pond are more bullish on Bitcoin's price. So we'll see if they get punished or not. On Binance. on Binance. So Binance doesn't have fiat pairings. So are you talking about like how TradingView calculates it against the dollar? Yeah. Maybe this is an opportunity for you to educate me as to how you're seeing the Bitcoin traded against the euro on Binance. This would be new to me. I am your English friend across the pond. But good to have you in here, man. Cheers. Don't forget the Irish. I never forget the Irish, man. Big shout out to all you guys. Got my birthday in the month of spring. It's this time of the year that my thoughts turn toward Ireland, man. About 20% of my heritage. All right, let's go. Okay, sorry, we got a lot to go through. Let's get to... all right, so we talked about ETH, and, you know, again, probably not the most satisfying analysis. Basically, you know, if I can sum up ETH, all I can say is, guys, look. If I have to weigh it against everything else, I'm still bearish on it. The only question to me is, what's the better entry? Now, aggressively, or here conservatively? I'm a conservative trader, so you guys can take your best thought and opinion from that. All right, let's go to... Oh, he meant Coinbase Pro. Duh. BTC Euro on Coinbase Pro. Ooh, nice movements from the Euros, man. You English are super bullish on this. Volume 115. 535. So lower volume, lower liquidity, man. More volatility. This looks pretty bullish, though. I'm not gonna lie. Let's see what happens. You got the time transformation topping above 0. Looking to bust up above the range. Again, I think it's going to follow the rest of the market, but yeah, if you just look at this chart, like just by itself, and you just wanted to trade this chart, which I don't think there's a problem with, doesn't look too bad, man. But I can't let that. I do have to be looking at the higher liquidity markets. I'm always looking at Binance. I'm always looking at USDT, and I'm always looking at BitMEX for how I think the markets is going to move. But that's interesting. We'll do a deeper dive on that sometime. Omisigo BTC, 8-hour analysis. All right, let's just zoom out here and see what we think. All right, it doesn't look too bad, man. It doesn't look too bad. We've only hit one of the 3 take profit targets that we talked about earlier. 42, 482, 46, and 48 are still untested. Actually, 48.3. This actually doesn't look too bad, man. You've got that higher low formation forming near resistance. You've got the range resistance right here, very clear. You got a bullish Heikin-Ashi trend. Looking at what it's giving you the go ahead right here. Trading bullishly above the explosion line. Time transformation is, you know, I mean, rigid above the 0 line right there. Looks good, man. You're not overbought. Yeah, that nice higher low formation underneath resistance. Had a nice explosion of volume coming up here, crossing above resistance right now. It doesn't look too bad, man. Even had that secondary pullback and higher low formed as you broach resistance. I'm not sure. I can't speak to how much follow through I actually would give this thing. Let me take a look at the MDR. MDR is kind of bearish, man. MDR is bearish within 5% of price. It's bearish within 10% of price. The MDR is overall bearish, man. Nearest 1% of price, even. Nearest 1% of price is bullish. Nearest 2.5 is a little bullish, flipping bearish too. Seems like the MDR is flipping bear, man. We'll see, because I do see the ask starting to curl down. I do see the bid starting to curl up a little bit, but the divergence is pretty significant. All right. Objectively, just from a technical standpoint on the chart, from support and resistance, supply and demand, it does not look too bad. I'm not going to lie. You've got your indicators telling you to go ahead as well. Let's check out Ichimoku. Yeah, it looks good, man. You get the buy signal in Ichimoku right here. You have that nice TK crossover on this candle right here. You would have ended up buying here. But again, whenever I get a crossover, whether it's a moving average crossover or a TK crossover, I never immediately buy because that's foolish. You wait for the pullback to the support line. So in this case, you could either use the Kijun-san or the cloud. But either way. Yeah, I'd like to say this looks good, especially you got this falling volume signature right here, especially if we consolidate right here. We consolidate here and hold this new resistance level, then you could take a trade, man, and have your stop loss. Where would you have to have your stop loss? Let's actually look at where we should have it. 38424, 38242. That makes sense to me. That's perfect. Yeah. No reason for price to revisit this lower low or this higher low if price is really bullish on a breakout. I would like to see consolidation right here and hold this new level as confirmed support. Walid Ben Harkaxi. Hey, thanks so much for the follow on Twitch, man. I appreciate it, bro. You know my bearish bias has to come in here when I'm talking about altcoins that are topping off when it looks like Bitcoin and Ethereum is about to fall off. But you know what? Listen, we might see another bullish weekend for the altcoins. I'm not going to lie. We saw some significant profit taking, and it seems like a lot of them have recovered significantly. We could have another leg up. OMG doesn't look too bad, man. Take profit 41839 right now. $41839 currently. You got about 3% profit potential. That's where I'd start scaling out profits. Then we've got higher profit targets right here. So according to Quadrigo, first take profit target is 000-41839. Stop loss at 000-38242. What I really would like to see is I'd like to see this level hold as support, and I'd really like to see what happens over the weekend. I mean, you could say every trade is a risk, man. Every trade is a risk. Altcoins aren't really, I'm already in the alt positions that I like. They're in nice profits. Profits have been taken. Stops are at 50%, or stops are at break even. So we'll see what happens with those positions. Not really looking to enter any new altcoin positions right now. So we'll just wait and see what happens, man. Sorry, Adam. My mistake. I know y'all in the on the English island use the Great British Pound. My apologies. I think that's what the debate is over, right? You guys want to go? You guys want to exclusively use that? Elkstronic, hey man, thanks so much. I appreciate the support, man. Okay, so we looked at Omisa Go. Okay, now before we can get to these other requests, because we've only got 17 minutes left in the stream, we do need to look at the other stuff on the schedule. So we'll look at Redbeard from the Discord community's fractal chart right here. Here we go. So here is Redbeard. Guys, give him a shout out in the Discord, guys. Here's his fractal chart. So when we're analyzing the drop, we looked at his fractal chart previously, right? And again, you guys know how I personally feel about fractals, but he has some interesting points to make here. So when we look at the kind of the 1, 2, 3 series of higher high patterns that ran into that diagonal level of resistance that preceded the drop from 6K to 3K. And again, we looked at the technical indications for why an individual should have been with fairly high certainty that drop or fairly high certainty in a short position from that failed rally back above 6,000, not about back to about 6,300 before the significant drop down below 6,000 that led us to this current purgatory that we're in. So we are looking at that same 1, 2, 3 coming up to that descending trend line, that diagonal resistance level right here, which is exactly what foreshadowed the previous movement up when everybody was really bullish. And also the significant movement here too is to look at the strength of the previous sell pressure right here. So this is very smart traders kind of foreshadowing and foreseeing what was about to happen for the drop from 6K. We have that nice rally previously before that failed rally to 6.3. This was a little bit of a higher rally. We had, just high momentum profit taking right here. Just as we saw that drop from 4K. So right there, we have that same high momentum selling pressure right here, just as we see that same high momentum selling pressure previously. And then we have that same level of consolidation, that dip, that failed dump right here down to a support level. And then we have 1, 2, 3. We have that 1, 2, 3 higher high pattern. So, all this looks absolutely identical. Momentum drop, failed rally, consolidation, cuppish failed dip to clear out lows and trap buyers in. This is a bear trap to trap late stage buyers in. Thank you, Shin Yumarani, for liking the time transformation script. And then we have that 1, 2, 3 period of higher highs before the big drop, guys. So this would be telling us that, again, kind of congruent to what I'm saying. What I really like about Redbeard's chart here is, to be honest with you, it's telling you exactly how I feel about the area to be confirmed to short. If you're looking for confirmation of a breakdown, let's go look at the BitMEX. Actually, let's look at the Tether chart because it's going to be clearer. All right, let's look at this level. So we have our range right here where we have our range high, we have our range low. We've had a clearing of liquidity below the range low here on the USDT chart, a very high momentum selling movement down. Nothing obviously compared to this move right here. And there's that same, 1, 2, 3 movement up. But this level right here, I'd say these lows, right? These lows right here, which put in consistent support. Now you can either use the wicks or you can use the candle bodies, but either way, the best thing to do most likely is to use this range right here, guys. Use this range right here. This range right here, 39.75 to 39.50 is the area to keep your eye on, and definitely the confirmed close below 39.50 because that's the previous resistance liquidity level right there. That confirmed close below these lows are 39.50. Again, you have different levels of aggression. Looking to confirm your short entry right there, guys. Because again, if price is bullish, there's no reason for us to revisit these lows. We've already grabbed liquidity. Any movement down here is a sign, as I feel, of significant weakness from the bulls, and I think we're gonna have a pretty volatile movement after that, guys. Which I already think we're working on. This is mostly noise to me as far as I'm concerned. So a limit order set, guys. All right, another thing we're gonna go look at over here is we're gonna give some comments on Where did I have that? Ah, here it is. So, Binance CEO hints that the BNB token hodlers may get Launchpad VIP access. So this is going to be very helpful, especially if you read my article on the Binance Launchpad VIP and its effect on trader psychology. So this is just talking about after seller. We've talked about this at length. So we had the seller token sale, a lot of complaints from users trying to buy up the seller token. I mean, listen, there's no reason that people should not be. I would say from a risk reward perspective. From a risk reward perspective, looking at these ICOs, I mean, it's just classic. I don't want to even say, I mean, it's FOMO in action, but the reality is we know that these ICOs are money. If you're able to get in on one of these Launchpad ICOs, every single one of them has put in very profitable returns. BitTorrent token, Fetch AI, and Seller. Well, we'll see how Seller acts when it actually launches on the exchange. So what did we learn from our past experiences with these ICOs if you did not get in on the ICO? Well, with BitTorrent token, the best thing to do was to buy right out of the gate. With Fetch AI, it was best to wait about 15 minutes right out of the gate because we had a highly volatile selling movement down, and then entry at that lower level at the close of the 15-minute candle was a beautiful entry, and then sell as price rose back up to that launch price. With Seller, I'm going to take the same approach as with FET. This time, I'm not going to buy right out of the gate. I'm going to wait until price drops for about 15 minutes. Take that gamble. It's just the dice you got to roll, guys. But these things attract all the traders because a lot of individuals are looking to get those huge returns that they feel that they are, I don't know, that they need because they lost so much money in the bear market. But it doesn't even matter whether it's individuals who have lost a lot of money or whether it's just high risk, high reward traders. But anyways, according to BNB, according to CZ, he said that the Seller launch was the highest buy demand they've seen yet because people are waking up. You know, the first one, BitTorrent token, everybody was like, I don't know, but still a massive amount of demand. Fetch AI, people started to wake up to it more. And now the word is out that this is just free money if you can get on the token sale and then sell as soon as the regardless of, you know, just regardless, you're going to make profit if you buy the ICO and then sell when it launches on the exchange. Yeah, of course they're pumps and dumps, man. Of course it was. Of course it was. But if you're able to get the token sale price and sell immediately as it launches on the exchange. I mean, there hasn't been one where you've lost money yet. That doesn't mean it's going to always be like that. And in no way am I recommending that you guys partake in this. But all I'm saying is that you're going to get a lot of interested traders that come in because they can smell easy money. The sharks can, it's not even the sharks, it's actually the lemmings. They can smell easy money and they're going to rush to the easy money and they're probably going to all fall off a cliff. I mean, now we bought Fetch AI and we made, what, 27% off of it, I think? I'd have to go back and look at my logs, but it's 20 to 30%. Some people got it at a gangbuster price, but the earlier that you were able to buy immediately as it launched on the exchange, because we were all there, we were all up when it launched on, most of the guys in the trading group were up when Fetch AI launched on the trading group. I stayed up all night for it, which did not lead to a great next day, but I digress. Anyways, so this recent token sale of Seller raised about $4 million, okay? Nothing compared to BitTorrent's ICO through the Launchpad, which raised about 7.1 million. Now, this is just through their Launchpad ICO token sale, right? And Fetch AI sold out at about 6 million. All right, so anyways, he's talking about all this because as we talked about previously, you know, we had what, what were the results? 39,000 people tried to buy, 3,129 people got some, 35,000 people would be somewhat unhappy, said CZ. He tweeted that out on Twitter. Now, they're looking to make this a little bit better, and why would they not tie in their Ponzi scheme BNB token into this as well? So the solution, dibs for BNB hodlers. So Crypto Ruler says, for the next ICO on Binance Launchpad, why don't we set a condition like this? Those who hold BNB for more than 1 month will be eligible for ICO participation. And CZ retweets, be careful what you wish for. So, you know, the idea is growing momentum, growing popularity on Twitter. Obviously, it's going to feed very well into the BNB hodlers, which again, BNB has been one of the most fantastic coins to have. It's done a fantastic price appreciation. And really, Binance killing it, man. Killing it. I mean, a lot of people are going to want to hate on them, but I got nothing but love for those dudes. I mean, Binance and everything that they're doing has really helped. I mean, you can make the argument either way. You can make the argument that, and I will make this argument, the argument that if we can get better, more regulated exchanges with better orders that are not participating in a lot of these, you know, pump and dump type activities, that we'd actually get more sustained price appreciation for Bitcoin moving into the next market cycle. The other argument that you can make, though, which I will make as well, is that, listen, dude, as soon as that stuff starts happening, it becomes increasingly harder for us retail traders to make money. Yeah, it's grimy. Yes, it's hard. It's grinding. But you know, these pump and dumps, that's the only way that we're able to, that's the only way that some of us are able to make a significant ROI. That's what we're in here for. We're in here because this is one of the few opportunities where retail traders can actually earn very attractive returns on their trades or on their investments. And yeah, it's been difficult lately. And yes, it's required being very quick and being very savvy as a trader. And a lot of people have lost out. But for those of us who have been here, have been putting in the time and putting in the work, you know, it's what we got right now. Like, and as soon as you get more, even though I think in the long run, I think enhanced stability and enhanced regulation is going to lead us to more sustained price appreciation. It's going to go back to something like you're going to see with the S&P 500, where you're going to see that slow, steady growth over time, and it becomes an attractive investment. But a lot of the opportunities for individuals to be sloppy, I mean, the more disciplined this gets, you're going to have to be much more concise and consistent. Joint 931, thanks so much for the follow on Twitch, man. The more regulated we get, the safer the investment becomes. But the safer the investment becomes, the less volatile the investment becomes. Meaning that if you are a trader who thrives off high volatility, or if you are a sloppy retail investor who is looking to kind of make that get rich quick scheme, you know, things like this are kind of your only option. So the argument could be that, you know, Binance is doing a favor for those of you who are on the inside. For those of you who are not on the inside, you know, Binance might be long-term hurting us. You know, however you guys want to look at that, it doesn't really matter. All I know is that right now, if you're in this space, we have to, you know, we can't wish for what might be in the future. As a trader, I deal with what's in front of me right now. I don't try to force myself on the market, and I'm not really one of these guys that repeats news headlines. I try to give original and unique thoughts and opinions on what's going on in the market. So we'll see about this. We'll see if this actually happens. But just one of those kind of fundamental rumors that BNB's price might not be going anywhere. Let's go take a look at the reaction that the market is actually having to this news. Buy the rumor, sell the news, guys. Let's see if we've hit arbitrary line number 2 yet. All right, so we hit arbitrary circle number 1. Time transformation actually gave us an 8-hour buy signal, and we're actually pushing up from it fairly nicely. Let's see if we can get back above the range high. Range high coming in around that 40,000 Satoshi mark. See if we can make it down to arbitrary circle number 2. Again, you guys will recall I just drew arbitrary circles. We'll see how arbitrary circle number 2 is coming in here fairly soon. But obviously, market putting in a bullish reaction to this news of hodling BNB for more than a month. Let's see how price response really amize that 40,000 level. Again, price has never broken that. And we've had kind of that 1, 2, 3 triple top resistance from that area. So we'll see if BNB gets floated down with the rest of the market. But again, you never want to be the guy that's calling the top in a bull market. You never want to be the guy that's calling the bottom in a bear market, because you don't want to bet against a strong trend. So, ooh, is this Stranger Things? This is good, man. Dr. Faz, what's going on, man? And I hope Kraken Crypto Group squeezes the shit out of Binance Exchange and gets out for the crash tomorrow and happens. That's what we're doing, man. We're squeezing it. All right, it's 1:57, guys. 3 minutes till we got to close the show. So let's go ahead and do the end of show stuff, man. First off, thank you so much for spending your afternoon with me. It's been a really good show, man. Hopefully this information was helpful for you. Hopefully this show has helped crack cryptocurrency for you today. And again, always trade safely, guys. Always use proper money management. Anybody who tells you that that stuff is boring is somebody who's going to blow out their trading account eventually. Hopefully that came out correctly. Question. Should analysis be used for a USD pair to have a more accurate movement? Listen, It all depends on what ATR is at, man. USDT pairs can be more volatile than BTC pairing. So no, the answer to that question is no, not always. If I'm looking to trade the BTC pair, I will chart the BTC pair. If I'm looking to trade the USDT pair, I'll chart the USDT pair. Good example of that lately is with BitTorrent token versus the Tether versus the as opposed to BitTorrent token versus Bitcoin. Thanks, Dr. Faz, man. Highly appreciate it. And of course, always very, very pleased to have you in the trading group, man. Thank you so much for your support. All right, so let's go over here to news and stats, guys. Just the end of the show, guys. Make sure you guys go over to freemmo.krakencryptocurrency.com. Let's see if we can break that 2,000 entry position resistance. Give the page a good old refresh here. All right, man, 100 people got in the competition just from this show alone. So guys, thank you so much for making this fun. Of course, you guys can go check out mmopro.org to check out their gaming community and mmocoin.pro. If you guys would like to participate in the MMO marketplace and buy goods and services with your MMO, you guys can check out mmocoin.shop. If you'd like to become a merchant and sell your goods and services on the MMO shop for MMO, you guys can check out the application down here at the bottom of the screen. That's about all we got, guys. Make sure, oh, sorry. We do have a new blog article up today, guys. So new blog article that just got posted on the Kraken Cryptocurrency blog. New article from Joe on the Bitcoin hash rate hitting a 4-month high, meaning the miners are speculators too. So make sure you guys go check that out. krakencryptocurrency.com/blog. And again, make sure to tip your waiters, guys. You know, Joe does this stuff for the community, guys. So there's a just with Jasper leaving the tips and everything, man, you can click on his name right here if you guys want to support his work, support him as an author and a contributor. It's right down here. Give him support. Man, these tunes are good, man. Scott, good work on these tunes. If you guys would like to trade along with us, get access to our entries and exits, our indicators, our strategies, our private community, my premium webinar series, which is designed to teach individuals how to trade and manage their money appropriately, you guys can check out premium.krakencryptocurrency.com. Most importantly, make sure to head over to the Discord community and join us there, man. That's where all the action takes place. And again, that is the difference between... I got a chat ban on Overwatch. I don't play Overwatch. I don't play any games, man, but hopefully you're killing it, bro. A7 Jixer, man, I'll catch you next time, bro. If you guys have any thoughts, questions, opinions, sarcastic remarks, and/or death threats, make sure to leave them in the comments section down below. Now, we don't get a lot of comments on the videos because most people just bounce out because it's a live stream. But if you just wait a couple minutes, you can leave a comment section down below. I didn't get an answer. Whoa, sorry, I just messed up the mic. I didn't get an answer to the question on yesterday's show, I believe. Let's go check it out. Because I do like to give a crypto tip to somebody that answers the question of the day. And the question of the day yesterday was, is this a fundamental sign of weakness or a fundamental sign of strength? So here was yesterday's video. Okay, yep, so no responses, but I will go ahead and let's see here. Just for funsies, man. Jasper. Jasper for the win, man. So go into the general chat channel in the Discord and tip. There you go, Jasper. There's a little crypto tip for you, man, in the Discord, my friend. So guys, the question of the day is the same question, guys. Do you guys think I'm right in my analysis? Is price more bullish than, or more bearish than bullish? Or is this a fundamental sign of strength from the bulls that we are recovering from this liquidity grab to the downside? Leave your comments in the section down below, or pop them in the Discord, guys. Let's continue on the conversation. That's about it, guys. Until tomorrow, guys, make sure you guys trade safely, and I'll see you next time. Trade safely.